Well, I guess history sort of starts with me. I'm an engineer, graduate engineer, mechanical engineer. I've got a degree in civil engineering too. Most of the coursework towards a PhD in civil engineering. I worked in research and development for 30 years. And there I had some interesting projects which gave me a lot of diverse experience in the region of proprietary areas. I worked on AMF pen spotters. I worked on GATX tank cars that were cracking. I worked on Fuller cement grinders where they had heads that were cracking, and I helped solve those problems. In the governmental areas where I spent most of my time was things like, the Republic aircraft had a wing that fluttered. I solved that problem. And we worked on civil air defense, air-to-air weapons, rocketry, cartridge-actuated devices, and I even worked on a lunar landing mission where I worked on a couple of backup systems for the lunar landing module. Well, when I retired from engineering, I went to Skokie for a post-retirement job, and that's where, I'm a state licensed plumber, so I also did the plumbing inspection there. And I began to see that everybody that came in for a plumbing permit came to me for it. And when it came to flood controls, they came in with sketches or some idea of what they were going to put in. And if I approved it, then I went out and looked at what they had and inspected it, and if it was acceptable, I passed it. And I began to see that there are a lot of bad contractors out there putting in a lot of systems which were questionable. As an inspector, you have a limited capability of stopping bad systems. Those that were inoperative, if I thought they wouldn't function well, I would tell the homeowner and let him make the decision as to whether he wanted the system or not. But quite often, even though the system was conceptually good, it was put in badly. So that when my son got out of school, I asked him if he was interested in a flood control business because they needed a good flood control contractor. He was. We got him an apprenticeship, and we got his own license. He began the company, and that's where we started. So that's about that aspect of our history. Since then, we've grown a little bit, but I think you'll see that we are a different type of plumbing company. We are top-heavy in experience. We have 4 state licensed plumbers. And we have a man that spent about 8 to 10 years in the construction industry and carpentry as his own business contractor. And so we come with the idea that when we put in a system, we want a system that works. We will not put in junk. We will not put in systems that do not work. And there are some systems you can pay us $25,000 to put inside your home, and we won't do it because they will not work. I guess with that as a preamble, let's talk about one system that will work, and I guess most of you have heard something about it, and I'll turn this over to Jeff.